Well, I've talked a lot about the chairs, and I just wanted to show you one more thing, and that's how make the tenons on these rungs. Now, the rungs are one shaped one of two ways: either on the shaving horse from green wood, splitting the parts out, or quarter sawn to have really straight grain for using the draw knife and spoke shave, and tapering them down so that you have a nice swelling in the middle. Now we need to make the tenons, and those are important because those are this has just come out of the kiln, so it's bone dry, and you can tell by the sound if this was wet wood, that would be a real dull thud sound, but you can hear that ring, and you know that you've got dry wood, and so that's when I will make the tenons. And I'm going to make the tenons here on the lathe. And the importance of this is having both tenons in the same axis, straight in line with each other. After these come out of the kiln and they've dried, these may have changed shape a little bit and they're no longer straight. And I think you can even see the wobble in this, just as I spin it. And that would not work very well with crooked tenons going into the legs of the chairs. The chair will rack out of shape and difficult to get it to set flat. So by doing it between centers in the lathe, we get both tenons right down the same center of axis, and it works exceptionally well. And so I'm going to use an antique tool that will chamfer the ends of these rungs, and it's got a cutter right here, and it's got a depth stop, and I'll just push into this cone, and it will cut the chamfer on the end of the tenons. I'll have it turning at just a moderate speed, I'm not sure, just fairly slow, a little faster than what I would do with a brace and the cutter, but I'll just push it in. That's simple, and there's my chamfer. So both ends are now chamfered, and now I need to make the tenons with a tenon cutter. So I'll remove the dowel pointer, and I have a small chuck with some pin jaws, and this particular, with pin jaws, I find these scrolling chucks to be just absolutely useful for so many things. And I'm going to grasp this tenon of this rung loosely, and I will bring up the tenon cutter. And this tenon cutter, the antique tenon cutters that I've had in the past cut a sharp 90-degree shoulder, whereas this tenon cutter from Lee Valley Veritas has a cone shape curved cutter here, and it leaves a soft shoulder at the back edge of that tenon where it goes up against the chair leg. So with a sharp 90-degree corner, if it touches the leg and the chair flexes, that sharp shoulder acts as a lever, pulling the tenon out of its socket. But with the soft shoulder left by this, it eliminates that problem. So I really like this particular tenon cutter. And so I'm going to advance it, the tail stock up, and now I'm going to bring the quill shaft forward, and it's going to seat the cone shape, and I can see it moving in the chuck. And now I will tighten the chuck and now turn it on. So you can see it's no longer nice and straight, and I will just gently advance the tailstock, the quill shaft. It has reached the bottom point. Turn it off, back it up, just enough so that I can see some daylight there, and I will release, turn it around, lightly grasp that freshly cut tenon, advance the quill shaft. It's starting to slide in the chuck, tighten it up. And now it just needs some little fine refinement with the spoke shave. Just a little refinement with the spoke shave and rasping the neck, taking a rasp and rasping that neck around that tenon. This one doesn't have the neck yet, as you can see, and that's really important for that chair leg tissue to shrink onto that tenon, and you cannot take it apart after that has seized up. I hope you've enjoyed the evening and all that we've been able to cover, and I look forward to doing another one of these days. So you all have a nice evening.